So as we rest into the moment, we remember at the level of resonance, at the level of frequency, that there is only one, and that life is about joining the flow, not about controlling or having ideas about how it should be. That we are here to uncover, discover the true way of being, of living this reality. That we're here to unplug from the old ways, the ways that feel comfortable to the me and the mind. We're here as pioneers of the light, way showers. We can only show the way when we open to the way. But the way isn't the ways that we've always done things. It's not the ways that we've learnt. And it takes an incredible surrender to let go of what we think we know and how we are identified with a certain sense of knowing how it is and how it should be in order to be carried by the flow of life and to discover different ways of being that are more simple, that are aligned with freedom and not control. That we are not governed by anyone else's ideas or beliefs. And that all power rests in the heart that knows where true belonging is. So just resting here. Letting go of everything that you think you know about yourself, all of the ways that are so compelling to try to define who you are, and allowing the edges to blur, and truly resting. Resting in a way that allows receiving and including of all of the feelings in the feeling field. Here we open to the flow of life and the flow of true inspiration. Inspiration as a means of uncovering the living reality and the grace and glory of life undivided. We're so attuned to the ways of separation. We're so attuned to the conditioned ways of division and the systems. Life is attempting to recalibrate the intelligence of our fields so that we remember the truth of who we are. Life is attempting to recalibrate in full support, of course, of us opening to the deep, resonant remembrance of who we are. Who we are beyond identity, who we are beyond me and mind. And so that we can hold in kindness, patience, compassion, the one that we have imagined ourselves to be and believed ourselves to be, that we can hold that one in care and releasing and relaxation of the structures that keep us identified with ideas and concepts. Mm-hmm. Mm. So just resting and receiving. Even letting the burning questions rest. Life is generally asking us to be busy and to engage on the level of fear and trying to belong, trying to pull us into believing that we need to, that fear will carry us into abandoning ourselves in order to fit in and belong. And yet the grace of the heart that knows just rests and just watches, allows everything that is arising in the feeling field to just be here, knowing that there is nothing to work out, nothing to understand, and just to be here in the stillness, in the silence. In the stillness and in the silence of the one heart. The invitation to be still and silent is more rare than the one to be busy. More rare than the one that invites you to have to take part in this, that, and the other in order to belong, to fit in, to feel satiated, to feel seen, to feel safe, even. And yet as we rest, we allow all of the feelings to just be here, just to allow the nervous system to ground itself in the field of presence, to allow the nervous system to ground itself in the infinite, unbounded presence of being, where the nervous system isn't trying to regulate itself in the world with things, with experience, that the nervous system itself finds true regulation in presence, in resting, in this deep relaxation. Mm. Life is so kind, so generous. And it's this ability to discern which movements and flows of life are the ones that support us to rest and remember at the level of resonance, and the ones that invite us through conditioning and fear to engage in ways that may please the mind and the me, but ask us to leave the fullness of what the heart knows. And that it's not about no action. So resting in itself is not about actually just sitting still. The sitting still and the resting is the means to connect to what true rest is. What is it to truly rest in the field of presence as the presence itself? To find true identity in the unbounded, in the infinite, in the eternal, timeless. What is it to rest in true identity in God and glory, and not in separation and division, not in lack, guilt, or shame, that sense that there's something wrong? How many times will we be invited? How deeply are we listening and receiving? Just to feel what the heart is called to, and just being here, just as you are. Nothing to change, nothing to alter in this moment, just to be here and let the fullness of yourself be here, now in the still, silent presence of being, finding yourself here, finding yourself here. The heart longs to deepen into itself. It longs to be engaged in the deepening into itself. So we let the identification rest and relax into the field of silent presence. We receive the transmission of the field of infinite grace, of grace light. And it is the intelligence of the infinite grace light flow that reorganizes and recalibrates our field. And the great glorious thing is that as our field is recalibrated, it takes away any need to do anything. There's nothing to do but make ourselves available to grace and allow the recalibrations to happen. So as the words come, the recalibrations are happening. What is being spoken is what is happening now. It's not a visioning or an imagining, although imagining can be very powerful because imagination comes out of the field of creative intelligence. It's about receiving. It's about opening to a broader perspective of seeing and experiencing in its purity than the me and the mind is familiar with. It doesn't need to be understood because the recalibrations will reveal themselves in the lived experience. We can have a lot of resistance, even when we think we don't. It can be quite surprising when we suddenly see resistance and how long we've been resisting and how deep that resistance is, how that need to be right, how that need to control, how that need to try to hold on to a certain sense of safety that is familiar and comfortable for me can create a field of resistance. And that resistance will be present until the perfect moment when relaxation happens. And so the invitation continues to come because the relaxation doesn't happen a moment before it is ready to happen. And then clear seeing can come in, and there's the, oh, that's what's been happening. I didn't realize that I was resisting. I didn't realize that there was a mechanism that wants to be right, that wants to control and has learned a way of safety. I didn't realize. And the great glorious truth is that love is here, and love is offering a constant invitation. A constant invitation. There's a power to the integrity of the heart that keeps us true, keeps us aligned with the divine, and stops us abandoning ourselves in order to fit in order to belong, in order to make anyone else happy. We could say it takes incredible strength, but that strength is the strength and fierce courage to listen to the inner knowing over the mind that thinks it knows. So as the words are coming, just noticing anything that is enlivened, anything that is stirred, anything that is being noticed. And if anything is noticed, as the intelligence moves to recalibrate, and as the words flow to enliven the field, and to bring forward perhaps what could be a holding pattern in the field, just by seeing it, the illumination itself brings light, brings love, inclusivity, and receptivity to anything that is seen. It's not a case of, oh, I just noticed something. What do I do now? And it's not about making myself wrong for the way that I have been, or I noticed some resistance. I didn't see that before. It's so kind, this welcoming, this receptivity, this inclusiveness. It's so kind. And the illumination just sees. And in the seeing, the relaxation starts to happen more deeply, more thoroughly, let's say. So just in being here and receiving, everything is happening. The intelligence is moving. We sometimes say this is a game that we cannot win, but it's also a game that we cannot lose. In a way, we are coming to open to a depth of knowing ourselves and listening to ourselves, where we fall in love with who we are, where we fall in love with what we are as a unique human expression, as a process of experiencing. We fall in love with our own energy, our own uniqueness. And this is what makes us magnetic to life. This is what brings opportunity, widens the field of possibility, draws things to us, is that we're so aligned with our inner sense of, yes, this is who I am. This is the unique being that I am in truth. Not as concept, not in clinging, but as a frequency that I just want to bathe in my own energy. I love just bathing in the energy of who I am, right? I'm not making myself wrong. I'm not trying to work myself out. I'm not trying to improve myself. I'm just bathing in the energy of my own frequency and my own connection to the divine, to source, to love, to the light intelligence, to the presence field of being. And just in resting here, I feel such a contentment, such a relaxation and resting here now, just being, that I know that there is only the glory, that the feelings that are in my field, great glory, it is all you. There is only you. The fear, the identity, the identification, the holding patterns, great glory, it is all you. And if I rest in the resonant remembrance here, there's nothing for me to get away from. There's nothing for me to do. There's no self-improvement to make. There's nothing to process or understand. It's just about feeling the energy that is here in my nervous system and allowing this nervous system to regulate here, now, into this presence field. Feeling, allowing and receiving the sensations that might be present in the field. Just to notice, is there energy in your nervous system? Is there energy, sensation, aliveness? Just to breathe with it. Be so gentle, soft, and subtle with the sensations that you find. Whatever I'm feeling, great glory, I know that it is you. Whatever is alive in this nervous system, I know that it is you. There is nothing to do, just to be here in the resting, the receiving, letting go of identification that keeps me safe, that keeps me in control, that has me feel that I belong. And opening to a resting and relaxation where there's a melting, a dissolving of these more crystallized patterns of consciousness that identify as me, relaxing and dissolving into the unified field of life flowing as intelligence. So just to be here, noticing what's happening now. Let's just take a short period of resting so you in your own unique way can feel and sense and be with and recalibrate in the ways that we're speaking. Recalibrate with the presence, just to receive in this moment yourself. Receive the feelings, the energies, the aliveness. If there's any intensity, to breathe into it. Breathe long, slow, gentle. And simultaneously receive the transmission of infinite grace light as the field, as we just rest together now for a few minutes to allow you to drop into your direct experience here and your deeper noticing here. And if you feel sleepy, just to take some deep breaths. Long, slow, deep breaths, exhaling through the mouth. And just resting and receiving. Just to notice a deeper regulation of the nervous system into the field of presence. A deeper regulation of the nervous system into kindness and compassion, into love and care, that you are held. So what is happening now? Just to notice what is alive, what are you noticing from what has been shared so far? Just to be present with what is alive in your field, even what is dancing in your mind, right? What is happening in the body, just to notice. Just to be present with what is happening now. Ultimately, everything is always moving to recalibrate and reorient us to the field of silent presence, to being the being. Because when we are resting as the being, our perspective of seeing is clear. Right? Do you notice that to be true? How do you notice that in your experience? That sense of resting as the being or seeing clearly, feeling aligned, attuned, feeling awake, right? Just to notice that you know that truth. It feels simple, it feels easy. And when we are seemingly away from this, are you able to notice and be resonant that that truth never actually leaves? But there can be things moving through the field that are coming for transmutation, recalibration, illumination. So nothing wrong is ever happening. Whether we feel like we are being the being and resting as the wide open infinite and receiving the grace transmission into our nervous system, or whether our nervous system is being used to recalibrate and regulate something, transmute something through it. It's always perfect. So there's a flow of when we are, let's say, plugging into and attuning with, opening, like we feel a little contraction of some kind, a little energy in the field, a little bit of wavering in the nervous system, the feeling field a little activated. We just breathe and we be with the feelings, the sensations, the aliveness, present with and to and as. Breathe with the energy. This allows there to be a flow where we're attuning the discordance through our nervous system to the presence field. So we're finding presence and feeling in the company of presence. It's like the experience is like calling upon presence to regulate ourselves with presence, with peace, with openness, receptivity, softness, right? Just to feel that in your system. A sense of when we open to feel, we're fully present with what is feeling stirred or enlivened. When there's a feeling of it, being with it, allowing it. The energy flows, it moves, and it tends to settle out. Yeah. And then once there is a sense of settling, then we are receiving, we're being infused by the infinite grace light. Then our nervous system is being nourished and fed by the source. So once we connect to source, in a way we transmute and we offer the discordance to source. And then our nervous system is being, it's like it's plugged in and it's being resourced, it's being recalibrated and upgraded, being infused and nourished. That's why when we are resting deeply in the stillness, in the silence, we will usually feel very nourished and by the end of it, right? Because we're aligning, we're regulating and attuning, plugging into the source, the field of infinite light, intelligence, of love itself. However open we are there, we will soak in it, be infused and nourished and energized and filled. There's an abundance, an infinite, eternal wellspring that never runs out. There's enough for everyone, for our cups to be overflowing, to like recharge our batteries, we could say. And as we rest here and we are recharged and rejuvenated, it's like the cells of the body, the fibers, threads, and atoms of our being are nourished here. And then it gives us this stability to know this in a rooted way, a way of the true knowledge that knows this resource, knows this as the glory that is the one, what we belong to, that this is where our true safety is. And it allows us that when things arise in the field, that we know we have the capacity to receive it, to feel the feeling field and be present with the aliveness and the energy that is resonant and vibrating as the nervous system. It's the field of consciousness. It's the discordant patterns that are feeling like a stirring or a charge or a trigger or emotionality or fear, that grip of fear, right? It gives us this capacity to just stand and breathe in the face of whatever we're feeling, to not be afraid of feeling, the fear, not to be afraid of feeling the shame, the guilt, right? There's so much power in not feeling afraid to feel what's in the field. Like, I can feel this, I can be with this, I can breathe with this. This is not who I am. This is energy, this is moving, but this all belongs to the glory. This is all you, great glory. Right? This is not personal. And it allows us to have an even more intimacy with what we are feeling, right? To know we can be with it brings also a sense of freedom. We don't need to be afraid of fear. We don't need to be afraid of feeling triggered or charged or emotional. We can allow the emotional landscape. Many of us are very emotional creatures, right? We're not trying to heal being emotional. We're learning to be with the emotionality, right? But many, many humans are, I mean, everyone has emotionality, but many humans have a system that is like a constant kind of flow of emotion. So being able to ride those waves and to be present with and to the emotions, not fearing it, not making it wrong, not feeling like you need to make a decision right in the middle of a turbulent moment in the nervous system, right? Yeah. So as these words are coming and you are directly experiencing what the words are pointing to, just notice what is happening. What is familiar to you? What feels less clear? What brings you alive? What stirs your heart? Just receiving the flow of infinite grace light transmission, unbounded grace flowing in our field. What is it today that is catching your attention? Or if there's nothing in particular, just how are you feeling right now? What are you noticing right now? Just to be familiar with being reflective with yourself. Just what am I noticing right now? Are there thoughts that are coming? Is there energy in my nervous system? Do I just feel peaceful? Is there a question arising? Is there something that feels uncertain? Am I resistant? Am I feeling protected? Am I feeling wide open? And as the questions come, you'll notice that some resonate and some won't. And so always just to let what does not resonate just pass on by. And if nothing resonates, just to be here in the grace of the frequency of your own field, where you can fall in love with yourself. And as you fall in love with yourself, that grace of loving yourself, loving your uniqueness, is so deeply nourishing, because it's like you're plugged into God and glory being nourished by God and glory in your uniqueness, and you're saying, thank you, great glory. I love the one that you are vibrating as here, as me. And I am here for you. Thy will be done, great glory. Move me in life for you as you. You show me. You show me where you want me. You show me what I need to see, where my work is, where the fun is, where the joy is, where the adventure is. I'm guided by your grace. Right? So in our own way, we just find that calibration with the source where we feel nourished. And just in a resting, in a relaxation with, this is the one that I came here to be. Might as well celebrate. And if I don't feel like celebrating myself right now, well, that right there is a great opportunity to feel that resistance, right? Let me welcome all of myself here now, every single fiber atom of my being, and to know that I can be joyful and celebratory, and there can be a little bit of fear in the background. Let me just not make myself wrong for the fullness of what is here. Let me embrace all of me, quirks and foibles, grace and glory, the things I love, the things that I want to judge, and just let it all be here. Unifying the moment, undividing the moment, right? So taking some nice, long, slow, deep breaths, energizing breaths, breathing right down into the belly, letting the belly expand into the side body and back body if that feels comfortable. Letting the exhalation come through either the nose or the mouth. Again, as feels comfortable. You know you. You do you. You be you, right? What feels good? If it feels comfortable, let the breath come into the chest, barrel the chest as well, into the back body, the side body. If it feels comfortable, let the breath come all the way up to the top of the lungs so it touches into the collarbones and the base of the neck and maybe even fills into the shoulders. Just energizing yourself with the breath. Coming into connection with the breath of life, the breath of God, being breathed, being animated by the breath, right? As the next one comes, holy moly, I'm still alive, right? What grace and glory as the next one comes. What a precious gift, and the next one comes. Here it comes, right? Every breath a miracle.